Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Always good morning for Gaza because it's the only light in this world, in this dark world that is filled with Epstein's ruling class that's destroying our humanity, where Gaza truth shines 24/7 for the last century. The truth of Gaza is what is exposing all of them, but unfortunately, it's coming at a heavy price for the people of Gaza. That's why we are centering them, centering their voices, and taking our lead, moral, professional, and any guidance that we need from the people of Gaza, because they lived the atrocities that the world throw at them, and they are trying to survive despite it all. They are hurting, they have been hurting, but their light and their truth has never been more clear and more shiner. So I'm gonna start with our colleague, Dr. Muhammad Kuzais, who just came back from a medical mission in Gaza. He's going to introduce his other colleague from Gaza, Dr. Azzuddin Shihab, if we can just change his name. Dr. Azzuddin also has been trying his best through the genocide to provide for his community, for his people, for the displaced community that has been undergoing genocide. His work is the literal translation of the mission of Doctors Against Genocide, which is to provide for the communities undergoing genocide, do all what you can despite all the difficulties. I'm not going to waste too much time because we have a full schedule, and we're going to move with it in time. So, Dr. Muhammad Kuzais, ahla wa sahla, alhamdulillah al-salami. Thank you for being there. Thank you for all what you do. I know it's tough, it's risky, but you did it multiple times, and we're honored to hear from you today. Thank you.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. It's honestly my pleasure getting to be here with you guys. And it was a privilege getting to work with Dr. Azzuddin Shab during my time in Gaza. And so put together a little bit of a presentation about his clinic where I spent close to 2 weeks of my time working in the north. Let me just move this. As if you want to speak, and I can just can you guys see the slide I'm trying to share?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
All right. If you want to speak, and I can just advance as you move on.
Yes, please. Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for having me and this opportunity to speak out. I would like first to introduce myself. I am Dr. Azzuddin Shihab from Jabalia. I entered Gaza just 3 days before the war started, planning to celebrate my graduation. I began working at the Indonesian hospital and in public medical services. When the Israeli army forced us to evacuate, we left the hospital and I decided to establish a clinic. And I have published a book, Notes from Genocide, a Diary of a Young Doctor. And I am currently working on another book to be published. So after introducing myself, I would like to talk about the clinic I established in Jabalia. First, the clinic was established in 2024 during one of the most difficult periods in North Gaza. At that time, most hospitals in northern area were destroyed or no longer functioning. The area was under severe siege, movement was almost impossible, and people were living under constant threat of bombing. Jabalia became a place where thousands of displaced families gathered after fleeing from different parts of northern Gaza. With hospitals destroyed and medical supplies extremely limited, basic health care became unavailable for many people. The idea for the clinic began in a very simple way. I noticed that neighbors and even some displaced people started coming to my home asking for medical advice or for treatment. At that time, there was no functioning clinic or medical center in all of North Gaza. So it became clear that people had no access to healthcare at all. For this reason, together with 4 other doctors, we decided to establish a clinic to respond to this urgent need in the community. We started the clinic through personal effort and community support with donations from people who followed me and followed my work in Twitter and social media, many of whom were moved by the humanitarian cases and the stories I shared. In addition, a charitable organization in Turkey volunteered to construct the clinic for us and allowing us to begin providing medical services. To this day, the clinic continues to operate independently, sustained by individual effort and without institutional funding, organizational sponsorship. This is how Al-Rahma Medical Clinic was established for the first time. It was created as a small emergency clinic, but with a very important goal, that to provide medical care for people who had nowhere else to go. The clinic provided primary care, treatment for injuries, support for chronic diseases, and urgent medical consultations. Even with limited equipment and very difficult conditions, the clinic became a lifeline for the community. As the time passed, the situation in the area and inside the clinic became worse and worse. There were shortage of medicines, electricity, and basic medical supplies. The danger around us increased every day. Still, the medical team continued working until the last possible moment. We believe that stopping meant leaving people without any medical help at all in north of Gaza. Then came the most painful part. We began hearing news about the killing of friends and colleagues. Dr. Khalil Bkhit, a friend and an orthopedic resident who helped establish the clinic, was killed while on his way at Al-Shifa Hospital after finishing his work at the clinic. His loss was deeply personal for all of us and for the community he served. We also lost Dr. Mahmoud Abu Amsha, one of the doctors who helped establish the clinic in its early days and worked there with great dedication. He wasn't only a colleague, but also a friend and an important part of the clinic's missions. These losses deeply affected all of us and strengthened our determination to continue serving the community despite everything. Eventually, the situation became too dangerous to remain in the area, and people were forced to evacuate. Leaving the clinic behind was extremely difficult because we knew how important it was for the community. Later, when it became possible to return, we found that the clinic, our home, and the entire neighborhood has been destroyed. The area had been reduced to rubble. What once was a place to care and safety was gone. The clinic building, like many homes around it, no longer existed. When the ceasefire came into effect, people slowly began returning to the area, to Jabalia. Many families set up tents over the ruins of their homes, trying to rebuild their lives with whatever they had left. In those first moments, one thing felt clear to me, that the first step was to establish the clinic again. People still needed medical care, injuries, illness, and chronic conditions didn't stop because of the war. In fact, the need for healthcare was greater than ever. So, Al-Rahma Medical Clinic was established again for the second time, continuing the same mission to serve the community and provide care in the most difficult circumstances. Rebuilding the clinic wasn't only about medicine. It was about hope, dignity, and helping people feel that life could continue again. Al-Rahma Medical Clinic is more than a building. It is a community effort, a medical response to a crisis, and a symbol of resilience. Even after destruction, loss, and displacement, the mission continues to care for people, to support the community, and to rebuild again and again when necessary. During this period, the clinic also collaborated with the MSF in a limited but important way. We provided space inside the clinic twice per week, allowing MSF medical staff to use the facility. MSF covered the wound dressing services and managed this part of the care independently, while our agreement was based on providing them with the space to work and support injured patients. This collaboration helped expand access to essential medical care for injured patients in the area. Today, the clinic handles around 140 patients per day, compared to about 70 patients per day in the beginning. This increase reflects the growing trust of the community in the clinic and its services. However, the biggest challenge we face now is the availability of medicine. Because the clinic operates through self-funding and individual support, it has become very difficult to cover the cost of medication for all patients. Providing consultations is possible, but ensuring continuous access to essential medicine remains a major struggle. Our next goal is to establish a dental clinic that can provide services free of charge. Dental care has become increasingly difficult to access, and the private dental clinics are very expensive for most people in the area. At the same time, the need for dental treatment is growing, especially after long periods without access to regular health care. By building a dental clinic as part of our Rahma Medical Clinic, we hope to expand our services and respond to another urgent medical need in the community. Al Rahma